welcome to your nightly news. Much has been going on in our world today, and I'm here to give you some breaking news of events happening during the Civil War. For our first segment, we will be discussing the Union versus the Confederacy, and to tell you this, we have our lovely Ella Spearsnyder reporting to you live from Washington, D.C.
Hello everyone! To help me explain the debates between the Union and the Confederacy, we have Winfield Scott from the Union and Stonewall Jackson from the Confederacy. Hello!
Hello.
Mr. Scott, would you like to describe to us the strength and weaknesses of the Union?
Yes, of course. We are much better than the Confederacy because we have bigger population, bank deposits, factories, food crops, horses, and railroad tracks.
What about you, Mr. Jackson?
Well, Mr. Scott, we are more agriculturally based. We have cash crops, mules, donkeys, and scattered ports. Some of our weaknesses, though, are we have a smaller population of slaves and less regional and state banking.
Well, at least we actually have food.
Shut up!
Whoa! I'm sure both your sides are great. Well, that was intense. We are now with Mr. Jackson separately to discuss the Confederacy's home front life. Will you please tell us what your home life looks like, Mr. Jackson?
Sure. Well, since the war, we have struggled to feed citizens and soldiers because the Union prevented us from getting imported goods from Europe by blocking our ports. Isn't that crazy?
So crazy.
The water is very unsanitary, and we had trouble manufacturing goods due to the Union revoking all our materials. We have also had to aggressively ration everything, including crops, food, materials, and other things.
Well, that doesn't sound good. Thank you so much for your time, Mr. Jackson. Next up, we have our wonderful reporter, Riley, with War Doctor Kenny Smith in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, which is where the Battle of Gettysburg was fought yesterday. Back to you, Riley.
Thank you very much, Ella. Yes, I'm in Pennsylvania with Miss Clara Barton, a nurse in the war. Miss Barton, can you please tell us why this has been one of the most important battles yet?
Yes, thank you so much for allowing me to speak on this matter. The Battle of Gettysburg is so important because it is the turning point of the war. The Confederacy lost. This has strengthened the Republican Party like never before, and we predict that this will initiate total warfare on the South.
Wow, that is so interesting. While we have you here, and since you observed both sides of the soldiers, can you explain to us what life as a soldier looks like?
Definitely. Well, there are plenty of diseases that hinder both sides' abilities to fight, and I can tell that it is taking a toll on a lot of them. These diseases include smallpox, dysentery, typhoid, and pneumonia. If we have to complete an amputation or a surgery, the tools we are given are very unsanitary and often cause gangrene, which is detrimental on a lot of the soldiers. The soldiers do not go to war all the time, which was news to me. This is my first time as a war doctor, and the most days they spend time marching or in camps.
Well, the more you know. Thank you so much for your time, Miss Barton. We have enjoyed getting to know all this information about the behind the scenes of what is happening in the Civil War. Back to you, Ella.
Thank you, Riley. Well, that concludes our segment today. We hope you have learned more about the Civil War and the events happening in present day. Bye!
A few moments later.
Breaking news. Lincoln just passed the Emancipation Proclamation. Throughout the war, Lincoln has seen that the debate of slavery is greatly impacting the war, so he just decided to free all the slaves in the South and issued the proclamation.